Tweedledum says the sum of your weight and twice mine is 361 pounds. Tweedledee says, contrawise, the sum of your weight and twice mine is 362 pounds. If they are both correct, how much do Tweedledum and Tweedledee weigh together? Now, first, just tell you that Tweedledum, Tweedledee, just two little letters at the end, U-M and E-E. There's just a teeny bit of change in when I first saw this problem. Well, of course, I didn't read it out loud. I read it in my head. So, like when my head, it just automatically reads the problem, and then it's like Tweedledum, Tweedledee, and then it doesn't, my mind, because these are so close, my mind doesn't automatically tell me that these two names are different. So I just confused these two names together. And it wasn't until I got to this sentence that I figured out, oh yeah, it's Tweedledum and Tweedledee. So my brain told me, okay, these two names are different. So, well, after that I was like, no way, I can't make another mistake like this. So I just went ahead and said Tweedledum, Tweedledum, whatever, but Tweedledum is X, and Tweedledee will be Y. So now we have these two different variables, and that's a lot easier than Tweedledum and Tweedledee. So now we have each of the variables, we can go ahead and set our equations. Note that we have two variables, we should have at least two independent equations. So let's see, the sum of your weight and twice mine is 361 pounds. Well, Tweedledum says that, so when he says your weight, he's not saying your weight, he's saying Tweedledee's weight. And Tweedledee's weight is Y. And twice mine, well, I'm pointing to myself, but that doesn't mean it's my weight. It means Tweedledum's weight. So I guess I should be pointing to wherever Tweedledum is. Although I don't know that name exists in the world, and it's kind of absurd, but anyways. So we know this is 361 pounds. Similarly, when Tweedledum says, contrawise, the sum of your weight and twice mine is 362 pounds, he doesn't mean y plus 2x, he means the other way around. X plus 2y equals 362 pounds. Okay, so now we got our two equations, and we're pretty sure there's no more equations, so I'm guessing we just have to work with these two. Okay, here comes the algebra. Here, well, basically we can solve for any variable in any of these two equations, and then substitute that into the other equation. So just say we solve for x and substitute in for the x up here. So let's see, when we solve for x in here, well, that's pretty easy. Just subtract the 2 left on both sides, which makes 362 minus 2y. So now I just take that, x, and then substitute that in for the 2x up here. So, okay. So this is going to be a little complicated. And it's a little, that's 1 plus, that's a minus 2y. Okay, look how longer this equation is compared to this equation. Okay, that's a lot more work to do. So, let's see. Well, fortunately, the y doesn't change. And we just need to use the distributive property to compute this big mess right here. Well, 2 times 362 is just 724. And, well, this is positive 2, that's negative 2y. Be careful of that. So it's a negative 4y or minus 4y, as you might recall. No parentheses there. And all this equals 361. Okay, that's a little easier to compute because it's pretty straightforward. From here, the y and minus 4y, those bump together and make minus 3y. And then it's pretty obvious what to do. Add 3y to both sides. Wait, Yeah, subtract 361 from both sides, add 3y to both sides. And minus 361, that makes 363 equals 3y. Good thing this is pretty easy to divide by 3 to isolate y. You just have 121 equals y. Okay, so now I know what Tweedledee is. The problem wants Tweedledum and Tweedledee and how much they weigh together. So, well, now we know y. We can just take y, substitute that in for this little equation at the top, and then find x, put a little barrier so we don't get confused. Let's see. 121 plus 2, that's y. 2x equals 361. Okay. Fortunately, this is actually pretty easy to solve. Subtract the 121 from both sides, and then divide by 2. Which makes x equals 120, y equals 121, x equals 120, and that makes a total of 241 pounds together. Okay. Now, before I go ahead and get a break and drink some water from my sore throat because of all this talking, well, this is a lot of algebra, right? I mean, if you have an easier way to do this problem, you would. So we do want to look for an easier way to do this problem, and there is not always an easier way to do the problem. It's not every problem with a hard solution has an easy solution. Has an easy way to do it, or else all problems would be so easy, and math probably wouldn't be so interesting if it weren't for these people who created these kinds of problems. But anyways, so, well, if there wasn't an easy way to do this problem, I wouldn't be talking to you about this, but there is an easier way to do this problem in here. So let's look for that way. And I think that we'll just go back all the way to when we had these two equations. That doesn't look like an equation, but there, now it's an equation. So I see we have a y up here and a 2y over here. We have an x here, and then we have a 2x up there. Well, basically, these two equations, if you notice, they kind of give you a little bit of symmetry. So, if we add these two together, the symmetry kind of goes together. Okay, add these together. Symmetry goes together to form 3x plus 3y. Then we just add the 361 and 362. That just makes 723. So, well, if you notice, for x, 3y, you can just factor that and get 3 times x plus y. And then I see this x plus y, and I get really excited because that's Tweedledum plus Tweedledee, and even that plus sign is correct. So all we have to do now is divide through by 3, and then we'll be done. So when we do divide by 3, hoping that is 241, I'll do a little division to make sure. Always got to do a problem 2 times and get the same answer. And do this by myself, because it's probably going to take me another minute of talking. Tell you about this, and I don't want to do that. And sure enough, we have a remainder of 0 with an answer of 241 again.